Hello, everybody. As per usual, just before we started the stream, we were about to get into a really heavy conversation about various life events and life philosophies, and we almost got stuck in a conversation about glitter. But it's not time for glitter. Well, it's always time for glitter, but it's also time for Shadowrun. And sorry, we're getting a little bit of a late start today because I felt it would be unfair to TPK the party because I did not have my coffee.
Merciful
They
Lord.
should TPK themselves. I'm a firm believer of that. So welcome everybody. Shadowrun missions. We are in mission 5 of season 5, While the City Sleeps. You'll notice that Thomas is not here today. He is ill because Chris made them sick.
Oops.
That's what we figured. He took them out to party over the weekend, and then they partied a little too hard.
I'd like to contend that they took me out to party. All right, just saying.
Mm-hmm. And so, what we have is the group has just left the apartment complex. There is a unconscious street brawler. And also, I believe someone was in the Valkyrie. Who's in the Valkyrie module? That's you? Yeah, Satchel. Satchel's in the Valkyrie module. And you have the boxer guy in the back just kind of tossed in and trussed up. You might have been able to finagle to the girlfriend that you are legitimate government authorized-ish-esque medical personnel, and that you're taking him to get treatment. That might work. And you're rolling away from the location, from the scene of the shenanigans, as it were.
So we had talked about looking up information on Richard Bryson, who was the person that was exchanging texts that seemed to be very aggressive texts. But now none of us can operate a computer.
That's okay. Etienne still does operate that computer on your behalf. I am told that we can make Etienne do whatever we want him to do, and that Thomas is going to be A-okay with that. So, front line, guns blazing, blocking attacks with his cyber deck, all legitimate actions for Etienne this evening. All right, so yeah, Richard Bryson. Looking up Mr. Richard Bryson. So what he gets is that there is a Bryson. The rumor mill has it that he is some old mob hacker that might have retired, a retired mob spider. And that's about all you can get off the computer. But with that information, you might be able to maybe track down some other leads, or try to figure something else out.
Is it a specific mob or like the mob? Is it a specific crime family, I guess is a better question.
You don't. He can't find that particular information.
Okay.
It's not in his LinkedIn, but he
He's missing out.
Yeah. He could totally network with the other mobs or get work for the Yakuza. Like they need stuff. But yeah, so he is not necessarily listed in as to exactly what outfit he was with, but you know that there are 3 that are operating in Chicago proper.
Does anyone have any knowledge of these crime families?
Maybe a gang liaison? Oh, you're muted.
I can check. I've got gang knowledge, mostly Chicago gang knowledge, but let me think about it. Hold on. I was supposed to be asleep, wasn't I? Because I was recharging, right? Because I'm all stunned up, right?
Well, you don't have to be asleep. You're just not exerting yourself. So you can conversate.
Okay.
You can have a conversation.
The word is converse.
You can conversate. If
Missy
orientate's a word,
Missy Elliott says that in one of my, like, I have this girl group that I really love called Black, and they have this song, and then she says conversate in it. Beyonce says conversate too. And I get so, like, that's the only time I'm mad at her ever.
Yeah.
I don't know why, it just bothers me. So what am I looking at?
So you're looking at your knowledge first?
Gang knowledge. That's all I have is gang knowledge. I don't have, the other one had Yakuza stuff.
Right. So just roll the gang knowledge because there might be some crossover that you can use, that you can make use of.
Chicago Sprawl, I have that as well.
Either of those might potentially be useful, and Chicago history and history in general also useful. All of those are potential. So
can I roll all 3?
You can roll them separately.
Okay.
Yes.
Not surprised. It's like a countdown.
Yes. 3, 2, 1. I don't know.
Yep.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's not so much that you don't know. It's, you know, a little bit about the mafia. You know that there's a local outfit, and when everything went down, like, it kind of broke up and the mob boss kind of maybe disappeared. And so the guy from north in Milwaukee has been trying to muscle in. And that the guy from Detroit also, it's just weird because Detroit's far, is trying to muscle in. And then, like, the local guys, one of the guys is trying to, like, take over as the leader in Chicago. And so it's kind of like this 3-way mob fight. It's not open street warfare, but there's definitely tensions in there.
Okay. So from the little bit I know, Gertrude, is that there's like a little power struggle going on right now between, like, Detroit, Milwaukee, and, you know, there's a power vacuum. And so even people here are trying to fight for it. So, I mean, I don't know if this is something we want to get in the middle of because, you know, I mean, sure, we can almost survive a run-in with the foul one, but I don't know if we can take on 3 different mobs at once. I don't have that much clout. See what I did there? Clout.
That was a good joke. To say, your clout is pretty good, though.
Well, I mean, it's clout. It's like a double because it's like having clout in the street means, you know, you have pull, you have weight, and then I can also clout you. So I don't have enough clout. See,
I get your joke now. Thank you for
Yes.
explaining.
Yes.
Well, I mean, it doesn't make sense. Like, if you were to go out, if he was working with a specific member of a specific mob group, you wouldn't be getting into a row with 3 of them. You would only be actually dealing with one. And if you're doing anything that hurts that one, the other 2 would probably be okay with that.
So maybe, I don't know. I'm going to leave this one up to you all. And then I just think we have to, you know, of course we have to play this one safely. as safely as we can be. But yeah, I'll leave it up to you guys. Or I guess to you, since you're the only one that's conscious right now.
It's much quieter when everybody is passed out, either in VR or the Valkyrie module.
You know, that's when we mages can get our deepest thought in.
I feel like you're fun on road trips.
Well, you know, I like old music. I like new music too. I'm just, you know, old music. So kind of got me into it.
So, since we are kind of unsure, I do have a contact, or I think we all do, with Nick Ryder.
I don't think I do. What? How do I check my contact? Not that way.
It's on your social tab.
Social tab. Oh, God. I have a social. Okay, I see it. Thank you. No, I do not have that contact. I have one contact.
Yeah, because Nico wasn't part of that.
Yes.
Right,
That's
that was the pizza parlor.
Yeah, pre-Nico.
It was a sad
Okay.
time. So
So you're gonna call Nick Ryder?
Yeah, give him a call, see if he knows anything about this guy or anything that we might be getting ourselves into or potentially headed towards.
All right. So with that, you give Mr. Nick Ryder, detective, a call. Your comm code buzzes a couple of times, and then you hear the telltale sound of a pickup. Yeah. Hello.
Mr. Ryder, this is Gertie. We met at the pizza place that one time.
Oh, yeah. You're the group that brought in Samantha.
Yes, that's it.
Yeah.
I had your number from that, and I had a question that I thought you might have an answer to, or somewhere to maybe point me in a good direction.
Sure.
Since everyone on the street says that you're trustworthy.
Yeah, I wish they'd tell my supervisor that, but go ahead.
Supervisors are overrated. So we are maybe looking into this guy, Richard Bryson,
Richard Bryson.
might be a retired mob spider. And we're more gang people and not so much organized crime people. We're more disorganized crime. Is there anything that maybe you know about him or the folks that he might have run with in the day?
Let's see. Richard. Does that ring any bells? Let me take a look here and run through my system real quick.
I really appreciate it.
Oh, yeah, Dick Bryson. He wow, this is from a little while back, about a decade back by this point. Since the last run-in he's had with Lone Star here in Chicago, from up north actually. Looks like after his last kerfuffle with the law, he decided enough was enough. Just went private and legitimate. Hasn't popped up on any of the scanners or whatever. Apparently working for he's got a client that he's running security for up north a little ways. Yeah, it looks like he's just been lying low. Some gated community. Trying to see if I can find, because we keep tabs on these guys, but looks like the Angel Hills. Angel Hills is a gated community up in North Chicago.
Okay, and he's running security for them. Does he have his own like security firm, or is this like they hired him kind of scenario?
It's a private security gig hire, I think. It doesn't have a company or an LLC listed. There's no corporate ties here, so yeah. That's it. That's all we've got. I mean, after a few years, we stopped really keeping an eye on him. But that's the last. That's the last we got.
That is awesome. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, sure thing. Sure thing. Anything else you need? Careful with those gangs. Just because they're not organized or whatever, they're still big trouble.
We're more on the periphery of those sort of, just in the neighborhood kind of stuff. But we will be careful. I promise.
Okay. All right. Good. Great. Good to hear. Take it easy, and yeah, if you need anything else, let me know.
I appreciate it. Be good.
Yeah. Yeah. All right.
In the footage that we saw of the fight, was Richard Bryson in the crowd that we could see?
As you go through the footage, looking through, make a perception test.
Perception is an active skill.
Yes.
Perception. There we go.
You do notice there are some potentially mob types in the arena right at ringside. None of them, as far as you can tell, is looking like they may be involved in any sort of matrix. You can't see if any of them might be a Decker or anyone involved with matrix activities.
Okay. It's too bad the mobs don't wear colors like the gangs do. That would make identifying them much easier.
They kind of wear gray and dark grays and blacks, and I haven't seen navy blue.
So, Nico, what do you think?
I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know. I'm going to defer to you guys on this one. I feel like, I'm always down for whatever. I think we should take the job.
Well, we did already take this job.
Well, this is
So I'm glad you're on board.
Then I'm confused. What are we determining?
So what we were trying to figure out was that Miguel Garza was not the brains of this operation, just the very, very strong brawn.
He's the guy we got right now.
Yeah, he's the guy that's unconscious in the back of the van that we should decide if we're going to take to a hospital or not.
I already told you what we should do to him. And that's why I'm leaving it up to you guys, because my decision was, rope, chains, metal bars, get him to talk. We don't have to kill him, though, because...
I'm glad you clarified.
Yeah, but then we don't have to do so much research because, research is me search. Get it right from the horse's mouth.
Well, last time we tried interrogation, there were some very unfortunate accidents with decapitations.
Wait, what?
That was before you got here. That was at the beginning of this. That some guy just walked right into my sword.
Walked into your sword?
Yeah, I definitely did not cut his head off. It was definitely his fault.
So your sword was just dangling in the air and he just turned around or something? You know what? Okay, I'll buy it. So, that's what I'm saying. I'm just leaving it up to you. I feel like you might know better what we should do because my option is to get all the information right from this guy right here while he's incapacitated I mean, we could do a combination of magic and might. I don't really know if I have any spells that can, that can make him talk. I could always go ahead.
No, go ahead. Tell me what you could always do.
I could always try to get a spirit again. I think I have like a few more actions. But no kicking down any doors.
And the point that Etienne raised a little earlier was, is this within the scope of our job? Is this really our problem at this point? Because we were supposed to take care of this so that these people weren't coming after Sid for money, and that there was this thing, and whether it's real footage or fake footage. And so we've got the footage. We've got Garza out of the picture. We had the gang guys that were going after Sid are dealt with. So the only thing left is this Richard guy, who is probably the one that did the video.
So how do you want to deal with him?
Well, I definitely don't feel like taking on some sort of organized crime. I feel like that is not that's not what I want for my life right now.
We can always play the long game. Go undercover, take him out from the inside.
This is true.
We could. I think that if we were going to do that, we definitely want to make sure that Satchel is feeling better.
Right, of course. Long game. Maybe a few stretches, downward dog, get warmed up, get the muscles going, because you got to be ready for anything when it's a mob. But yeah, I mean, I agree. I don't know if we have the force to take on a mafia or possibly 3. So I say, let's just deal with this Richard dude.
So what would we want to do with Richard? Do we want to try and get original footage from him? Do we want to try and just tie him up and put him in the back of the van and bring him to Sid too? And let Sid sort it out? Or just bring the information to Sid and say goodbye?
I have an idea. A little crazy, but I have an idea. Okay, rock with me on this one, all right?
All right, I'm with you.
I will cast a spell on the boxer. We'll tie him up, and then we'll put rubber bands on his legs until they go numb. Or maybe even some anesthesia, right? Then I'll cast physical mask on his legs, so he'll think they're not there. He'll be tied up so he can't use his hands to feel down there, right? And then we'll tell him that I can use magic to put him back if he gives us the information we want. This is the perfect plan. No one gets hurt.
I love it.
Then he thinks I'm like the magical wizard of everything because I can reattach and recreate limbs from I'm a Scarlet Witch, basically. And then we'll get the information we need. I'm just saying.
I mean, I feel like there might be spells that could achieve that easier, but I don't really have the wherewithal to know if this is a good plan with magic usage or not. So
I just can't think of another spell that I have that can do that.
Well, you have more spells than I do, so.
That is true, but my spells that I can think of, I can bind him. I can also cloud him to death, but Chaotic World's a little too unpredictable. And then most of my other things, I can either use improved invisibility and make them invisible, or I can mask them to make them look all like mask. I would prefer though, because then I can make it look like whatever I want it to look like. So I can make it like a bloody, mangled mess. Invisibility just means they won't be seen. What do you think?
Tourniquets and illusions, it sounds like.
I think that that's something that we should definitely put in our back pocket. I really don't know how I feel about torturing this guy.
It's not torture. It's literally not torture. There's going to be no pain brought to this man. We won't be hitting him. Like, literally, we're not causing any pain. Like, a little numbness at the most. A little leg tingle. Which can easily be. Have you ever sat on the toilet for too long? Have you ever, like, slept on the wrong arm? Have you ever, been carrying a suitcase for a long time? Same thing.
Is it torture if they think they're being tortured? But
no, absolutely not. And what's great is torture. And the great thing about it is he'll never know that he wasn't tortured. People will be like, yo, that band of bandits is crazy. They will cut your stuff off and then hold it hostage until you relent.
I mean, with no actual limbs being lost, that you make a good argument. I don't have anything to counter this. My only thought would be some sort of injection of some sort of substance to make him talk, and I don't have anything like that on hand.
Well, like I said, might and magic. We already have those two services from the spirit. We can double team him with this, because if we see that it's not working, see the way I'm thinking ahead, long game.
All right. Yeah. Okay.
Maybe he still won't talk. On the off chance that he doesn't want his legs, maybe he still won't talk. We'll threaten him, make him think that we'll cut something else off, but then we don't want to do that. So maybe a little violence, but just tiny violence. But if that doesn't work, then we can call on the spirit and get him to help.
Would he be able to tell that you had magic on his legs?
No, he doesn't.
How does this work?
The boxer already has sensed him. He doesn't have any magical abilities unless he's wearing like some sort of amulet or something I didn't see.
Okay.
He wouldn't be able to sense it. As long as we make sure that he can't feel his legs. So the rubber bands actually are imperative. We need rubber band
or local anesthetic.
No, we need both though, because he's going to wonder why his legs don't hurt. If he sees the rubber bands, he'll know. So he needs to see the rubber bands. You don't see what I'm saying, Game Master?
Well, however you want to do it. It's a physical mask, right? So you will make him look how you want him to look from top to bottom. So you're just
but he would still feel the pain of his legs being gone.
Right,
unless he had rubber bands around them, so that would everyone knows rubber bands take away that feeling, right? So he sees the rubber bands, but we use anesthesia. Win-win. WWE. Win-win everything. I'm just throwing out there.
Trademark.
Right. Oh, I'm sorry. Am I not allowed to say WWE? My bad.
No.
Okay.
Your version is registered now, trademark to you. Win-win everything.
Win-win everything. Thank you. So what do you think, guys? I mean, sorry, Gertrude.
Yeah, I would feel better if Satchel were conscious before we did this.
Totally fine. So now do we have any anesthesia in the car? Because we have to keep this guy down until Satchel gets better. Or I could just keep punching him. 8 pounds of pressure right here.
That's not going to help him with talking, though. If you punch him in the head.
Touche. See, this is why you're leading the charge.
I think it's mostly because I have the van.
Never thought of that.
But yes, there is some anesthesia in the ambulance.
Cool.
It's part of standard medical care to have this thing.
So, do you want me to find it? You want to tell me where it's at, or?
It's in the back near the Valkyrie module.
Okay, so then I go to the back to the Valkyrie module, and I'm like looking through files. Is it this one?
No, it's gonna be labeled. I can't see. You're in the back of the van, and I'm trying to drive, and I can't read that from here.
I have to read? You know I grew up on the streets, right? I can read, but I'm not medical. I'll try my best to read this medical stuff. So what am I looking for?
It starts with ANA.
Anna.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I used to know a girl named Anna. Okay. What's the rest of it? Is it just the one that says Anna? Just one of them? Or is there multiple Annas?
There should not be multiple Annas.
Oh, found it. Okay, so do I have to get a needle, or is this like a dart gun, or what do I do next?
Can you check on Satchel and see how he's doing before we start applying this? I would just feel better if Satchel were conscious.
You want me to see how Satchel's doing before making sure this guy doesn't wake up?
He's out pretty good, isn't he?
I clouded him pretty good, but I don't know. He's really strong. So we might want to make sure he's down.
In an earlier round, because he went down swinging.
I mean, he at least won't be up for an hour. Like that's the minimum amount of time that will pass before he is able to kind of stir.
Okay, so I'll hold this, and so I lean over because I'm right next to the Valkyrie module. Satchel's not dead, and I don't know what I'm looking at.
Satchel is not dead.
He seems fine. Is there something else that you want me to check?
There should be some readings on the Valkyrie module about what his vitals look like.
There's like a squiggly line, and then there's lots of numbers, and I don't know what I'm looking at. What number do I need to look for?
It looks like his pulse is a little high. So there's a number that's about 97, hovering 97, 105. And then there's some other readings, like a 142 over like 96. There's a image of his body with some like red spots kind of throughout.
Right. So I relay all of that to her.
Okay.
Do you know what that means?
Yeah, so his blood pressure's a little bit high, but not anything out of the ordinary. The red spots are probably where he took damage that it's currently working to fix. And the other is his heart rate.
Okay. Now I know the language of Valkyrie. All right. So now can I drug this dude?
Donk, Satchel, you alive in there? Cool.
Do I get to put this in like a needle, like on the TV shows?
I'll do that. I'll show you how to do that. How's that?
Okay.
Okay.
So I look over. I guess there's a syringe next to the anesthesia, so I'm going to get the syringe. I've totally seen this on TV.
Goodness. Okay.
So,
I'm going to find somewhere to pull over, Danny.
Okay. That is not hard to do. It's any place you can pretty much pull over. Yeah.
I'm just standing here like this with the needle like right against the opening of the vial.
Oh, goodness. Okay. All right.
Now I just push it in, and then I pull this thing.
You have to puncture the top first.
I did. I put it in.
And then let the air escape. We want to inject him with anesthesia only, not anesthesia and air bubbles that will kill him.
Humans aren't allergic to oxygen.
So the air bubbles get in the bloodstream. It causes problems. We don't want that.
You know what? I'm going to trust you. Okay.
Thank you.
Make sure there's no. I pull it back out, and then I make sure there's. I squirt a little bit that I just put in. Just put it all the way out. Okay. Then I put it back in the anesthesia, and I pull it like this.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, like that. That's a little bit less. That's way too much. There, perfect.
Okay. And then I do this.
That's good. That's good. It gets any extra air bubbles out. Good job.
Oh, that's what that's for. Okay.
That is what that's for.
So now I just jam it in his neck,
I'm,
or is this one of those? Or is this one of those like soft and gentle things? Because sometimes in the movie they just like.
so we're not going to do that. This is not some sort of epinephrine where he needs an instant revival. It's
Okay.
anesthesia.
Okay. So slow and steady.
Yes.
Okay, great. I know this because I've seen. So yes, yes, I know.
My quick question here: is this the local anesthetic or is this the knockout anesthetic?
This is the knockout.
Okay.
This is so that he will stay down.
Okay. Understood.
Okay. So I, place it on the vein, inject it slowly.
Roll.
Oh no. This could go so bad.
I mean, I said I was going to do it, but you go ahead.
So on your character sheet where your skills are,
Lord. Yes.
you're going to go to the top one that says on the active that says default to skill. You're going to change that attribute to logic and change that limit to physical.
Okay.
Oh, wait. Actually, no, you're not, because you do have. Well, no, you don't have medicine. Yeah, never mind.
No, but the history that we came up with, I don't know if I'm supposed to say, but
you have first aid.
Well, my mother's an addict, so I would assume that I know how to do that, or I've seen it done at least.
Yeah, this is a little bit different from that.
Okay.
So go ahead and do that default roll of logic.
Okay. Logic physical.
Logic mental, but it doesn't matter because you only have one die. You're not going to break your app.
So logic mental, I'll just change it just to be fair. Oh, no.
But what you did not do is roll a 1.
What does that mean?
If you had rolled a 1, you would have. Oh, I'm sorry. You didn't roll any dice because of your wound modifiers. Click the dice button at the top. Yeah, no, something happened. So click the dice button at the top and just hit a 1.
Okay.
Because it didn't actually roll any dice for you there. There you go. That's better. So again, you didn't roll a 1 on that one die that you rolled. So it ended up being a 3. So that is not. So you're not murdering the guy.
Okay.
So yeah, you kind of plunge it in his neck a little bit, and then you feel like maybe that wasn't enough because like you barely broke the skin, so you push it a little further in, and then you're like, maybe that's too much. You pull out just a little bit, and then you like slowly squeeze the plunger down, like the side of his neck kind of bubbles up just a little bit as like the liquid is not like you're not in a vein or anything, like right in a vein, so it's just kind of like under his skin. Like a regular shot, you kind of get that little bump.
Right.
And then you pull the needle out and you look at him and he seems to not be waking up.
Then look at Gertrude.
Check and make sure he's still breathing.
I know how to do that. And
All
I
right.
put the 2 fingers on his neck.
Oh no. Oh no.
I feel like I'm missing something. I don't know why everybody's laughing. That's how you check somebody's pulse.
You're good. It's just if he's breathing. And then you said, I know.
Yeah.
And you like to check his pulse.
What's bad is that's what I would have done in real life if someone said check his breathing. I was like, all right, great.
Roll first aid this time. You can roll first aid,
I
actually.
don't think I have that. Where would that be?
You do. It's a.
I see it. I see it.
Yeah.
I see it.
Okay.
Damn it, what the-
You do not feel a pulse.
Huh?
You don't feel a pulse.
I don't feel a pulse.
All right, let me come check.
Okay, I'll move out the way very quickly. With haste.
Oh goodness.
Okay. Oh boy, this is the best. All right, so yeah, when you get up there, Gertrude, you quickly ascertain that there is a pulse, and it's not. It's about what you'd expect for someone that just got injected in the neck with an anesthetic, but maybe not
Properly.
entirely correctly. So, yeah, I mean, his breathing is steady. His pulse is steady. There's a lump in his neck where you imagine all the anesthetic is just chilling, and just to be absorbed by the tissue there. This close to his head, you'd want to monitor the patient, but mostly you think it's probably going to be okay. He's not going to die anyway. I mean, and you're pretty sure he's already got brain damage. So,
I mean, you get hit a lot in the head. It's kind of
yeah,
hard
and
to
whatever
find.
drugs he was on, like that seemed crazy too. So, yeah.
That is true. Oh my. I
Oh,
forgot
yeah.
that he was
Is
on
that
drugs.
that contraindicative? I don't know.
Goodness. Okay.
So anyway, there he is. he's alive still. Probably not waking up for a minute.
All right.
Or
So
three.
he is breathing and asleep for now. I'm gonna put him onto the chairs and off the floor just to, buckle him in so that he doesn't roll around while he may or may not be having reactions to whatever drugs he was on, plus what you just injected him with. I'm sure
Wake
it'll be
up
fine.
and kick our ass in this van.
He is knocked out for a while. We'll keep an eye on him and make sure that he doesn't cause us any problems.
Awesome.
Okay.
All right. Now that you're up and looking at the Valkyrie module yourself, the only reason that Satchel is not awake is because the Valkyrie module's just kind of got him enclosed and is just kind of feeding him just enough anesthetic to keep him under. But he's about as healed as he's going to be in the Valkyrie module.
Okay. Then I'll go ahead and shut that off.
All right. Within about 5 minutes, Satchel, you will wake up a little groggy, asking if this is real life.
Is this real life, or am I in a BTL again?
All right, so
Okay.
you notice that the guy is sitting in a chair, kind of opposite the Valkyrie module.
Why is he in the van?
So what had happened was you were hurt real bad, so I brought you back here, and then Etienne and Nico brought Miguel, also hurt pretty bad. Nico did some great magic, and we didn't want to leave him because we maybe needed information. So he's here now.
So Satchel kind of like looks like Etienne. Did you Can you I don't do something? He's full of cyberware, right? You shut him down.
So you hear in your comms, omelette du fromage et Eiffel Tower, oui oui, French, and so you get the idea that what he's doing is he's trying to find this Richard Bryson guy in the Angel Hills gated community. That's what that means. Nobody knew I spoke French, huh? What? Thomas is going to kill me later. That's okay. I love you, man. All right. So, yeah.
Feel better soon, Thomas.
Yes, feel better soon, because that was actually horrible. Yeah. So that's what you get from him, because he does seem to be in the Matrix.
So we called Nick Ryder for some additional information. So Etienne found that this Richard Bryson guy was a retired mob spider, which is a person who hangs out in the Matrix and does Matrix hacking things. And Nick Ryder said that according to the Lone Star records, he went legit about 10 years ago and is currently doing private security for this housing area of Angel Hills. So where we sort of are is, do we follow this through to confront Richard Bryson about whatever it is that he's got on Sid? There is some discussion about making Miguel believe that he has no legs to get information out of him. I will let Nico explain that, because I still don't quite fully understand what that is. Or just to take back what we have to Sid and let Sid deal with it.
Oh, so I think I got it. So we're gonna hard candy this guy.
Hard candy? What's that mean?
Oh, it's this old movie back in the day that I saw. Like, yeah, this little girl like tricks this dude. He's a really bad guy, and it makes her pretend that she chops parts off of him.
I guess, yeah, we're gonna take the feeling away from his legs, but in a way where he understands why he can't feel his legs, right? Then I'm gonna physical mask him so it looks like we cut them off and his jeans are all like torn and there's like bits and like tendons and bone parts and stuff. Tie his hands up so he can't feel down there, right? Tell him that if he listens to us and tells us what we want, we'll give him his legs back. And then when he does, I'll just remove the physical mask, and then voila. He'll think we're awesome. He'll be terrified of us forever. That'll kind of count as my revenge, but not really. And then we'll have all the information we need.
That could work. And if all else fails, we could, just chop his legs off for real.
And then I turn to Gertrude and say, thank you.
Sounds good to me. Any objections, Etienne?
Yield Hippocratic oath.
Yeah.
He did say that whatever we want to do, we can do, and he would agree with. So,
all right. So I mean, the van is stopped. The guy's in the chair with his big anesthesia lump in his neck.
He's in the chair. So
he's kind of tied up into the chair so that he doesn't fall out of it.
So Satchel takes the time to reach under the seats and make sure that there are no weapons within reach under him. So he grabs the Ruger from under the seat that he's under, and then nearby seat, the seats in front and back of him.
Okay, that is done. As everyone watches Satchel do that, you're like, oh yeah.
Look, I forgot this guy was a drug user, so I'm much more concerned about him dying than shooting us right now.
Well, I just woke up because he put me in that Valkyrie module. I'm trying not to go back.
Nope, that's fair.
All right.
So yeah, let's go ahead and Do we need to like slap him awake? Like, how recently did you just shoot him up?
Me?
Mm-hmm.
Whoever did it.
It was like, I don't know, like 5 minutes ago.
Oh,
Yeah, we have some time.
we have some time. Can we get some food? Starving.
So you would like to go through like a Taco Temple drive-through with this guy in the back?
Yeah, I have to prepare all this damage. I need some protein.
What are you talking about? Of course we don't want to do that. I hate Taco Temple.
Ooh. Are you more of a Nuke It Burger kind of guy?
I mean, I'll take Taco Temple, but that's like, drunk in the middle of the night and you got no options. But you know what? Beggars can't be choosers. Wherever you guys go, we'll go.
Oh, goodness.
All right, so I think, yeah, you could go wherever you need to. Taco Temple, it's always open 24/7.
It
And
sounds
maybe-
like that kind of place.
And maybe Miguel will be hungry when you wake him up.
That's actually really
Oh.
smart.
So yeah, Satchel orders. Are we actually going to the Taco Temple?
I'm going to put Miguel in the Valkyrie module so that the Autodoc can keep an eye on him. And it also won't look as suspicious as having a as was suggested earlier, a Weekend at Bernie's style.
God.
Also, you do still feel like crap, Satchel, and you wonder if Magic Fingers, Jazz Hands over there, could maybe heal you up a little bit more.
Do you do magic that heals people?
Here's the thing. I'm about to do this physical mask on this dude, and my stun is at like 2 or 4, something like that. So I'm incredibly worried about doing this spell because I was supposed to be resting, but then I had to handle this guy. So let me see what I can do. El Magico.
As you are considering that,
Let's try it. I haven't done a heal on anyone yet. On this trip, at least.
Yeah, Gertrude finds the nearest Taco Temple on the map and starts heading that way as Nico prepares to cast a heal spell on Natural.
Where's that? Okay. So I place my hands above him. Do this. Totally unnecessary, totally performative. And then I say some words. I'm gonna cast it at a 4/6. Hit that Drano. All right.
So you beat the Drain 2.
And so then I'm just doing this until you tell me whether it works or not.
Okay, so the way heal works is that it takes 1 3-second period for each wound level to heal, and you can heal 3 wound levels because you got a 3. So you spend 9 seconds to heal him up. Almost, he feels a lot better. He's still got an injury, but he feels a lot better. So you have healed him up to 3. Now, if you had gotten more than 6, what you could have done with the extra hits would be to spend them to make the healing go faster, so you're not sitting there as long. But since you're not under time crunch, and you need to heal them as much as you can, you do the
I can do it.
9
You're
seconds.
saying I can do it again?
You can't do that. Once you've cast a heal on somebody, you can't cast heal again on them again until they have suffered a new set of injuries, and you can only heal that new set of injuries. So let's say
Gotcha.
he takes 2 damage. So he's at 3 now. If he takes 2 damage and you cast heal on him, and even if you get 5 successes, you can only heal the 2 that he just took.
Understood.
So, all right, but you do feel a lot better. You were at almost dead, and now you're at only 3. So win.
Thanks. What? Can you teach that to me?
No.
Oh. Okay.
This is a secret of the mages type of thing. You know, you kind of got to have the skill set.
You arrive at Taco Temple.
Can I get like 5 chicken chalupas? Or
I mean, you should get what you want to eat. That's sort of the point of this stop.
no, yeah, I mean like, yeah, but you're at the drive-through. You'd be speaking, right?
Yeah, I guess that's true. You'll order what I assume is a large amount of food.
Okay. Yeah, easily done. You now the inside of the van smells like Taco Temple, which is not necessarily a bad thing. It's not like sauerkraut, which unless you're eating it, it smells really bad, right? So like,
Okay, so yeah, now I'm down to go wherever you want. So we're trying to go to Dick Bryson or Dick Bryson.
Dick
In Angel
Bryson.
Hills?
Bryson.
You know what you said? Richard Bryson in Angel Hills?
Yes, that was his last known gig. So he could have been doing private security for them for the last 10 years.
Yeah, and so Etienne finally kind of comes out of hibernation and informs you that he thinks he knows where it is in Angel Hills that you need to go. And he pops up a map onto onto both the front windshield of the vehicle and onto anyone's displays that needs it. And this is what you see. He says, all right, so there is he says something like, Mirda, there's a big house in the middle of the map. A place where the chapeau is hanging out. That's yes. There's a circle that appears around the orange roofed building that's just off the very center of the map.
Orange roof building, center of the map. I see.
Yes. He says, that's where we're going to find the pantalons.
Pants?
I don't know. Just, I think that does mean pants.
Was in Spanish.
Spanish and French are similar in a lot of ways,
Is it pantalons in French? I know it's pantalones. In Spanish.
So it's pantalones in Spanish, and it's pantalones. Oh, you got it. Oh, that's how it is in French. Yeah, so that's the difference, right? Because like autobus is bus still, right? So it's like autobus and autobus. Oh, right? That's
nailed it.
You've been watching too much. You've been watching too much Little Mermaid. Oh, La Croissant's face.
All right, so yeah. But it's a high-end neighborhood, so he says he's gonna probably need to be deep dived into the matrix to make sure that he's covering any weird security things.
So that is the house that he is in.
So that's the house he thinks it is, because basically he went through, he says he found all like the daily records of anyone moving in and out. And it looks like there's an individual who is moving in and out and always signs into that particular house. And he is not associated with a specific LLC business or, so he's not like a caretaker in the sense of a medical caretaker, because then they would have like they'd be with Crash Cart or Dock Wagon or with one of the medical companies, and that's how they would sign in. But he's an approved visitor that's always going there. And the name doesn't match anything else that he can find.
Okay. In my
So-
head, I had somehow thought he was like a front gate guy.
So,
Yeah.
for Etienne press a deep dive back into Angel Hills, he's into the Matrix. He asked, "Is there any particular time that this man is always coming in and out of? Like, can we narrow it down to a time frame where we could possibly see this person that Etienne's tracking?"
Oh, oui. No. He is generally there often and tends to leave when it's more a question of when he's not there, and it seems sporadic. So it seems more like he's meant to be there almost full time, and that he leaves maybe to take care of personal business or something, or maybe to get things or whatever, but he's mostly there.
Then when is he there now? Or did he leave?
He goes, "Oh, lapel," and then he goes back into the to do some digging. Yeah, that one, I got that one right. Okay, got you, Thomas. All right. Yeah. So he's going in to look. You guys have all your Taco Temple. What's the next move here? You've got tied up in the chair, anesthetized in the neck, rubber banded legs.
Have I rested long enough to get any stun damage back yet?
We'll say by the end of this ride, you'll have gained an hour worth of rest. So go ahead and make a body plus willpower to see where you're at.
So roll body and then change it to willpower?
Roll body and then select willpower, yes, to roll with it. And then
Okay.
you clear 2
Yay.
of your damage in that first hour.
Yay.
So you are, hey, that's pretty good. You only have 3 stun now.
Yep. Phew.
Yeah, it's only like, it's that lingering like light headache feeling, where it's enough that you feel like, that sucks, but it's not like stopping you from doing anything. So
Yay.
all right.
So do we need to take him out of the module and then rubber band this man up? Like
I'm ready.
Oh yeah, you did. You had him in the module, not in the chair.
Yeah.
I wanted the auto doc to keep an eye on him.
Also, it almost seemed a little weirder to the people in the drive-through that you had like a patient in the auto doc, maybe, because they're like, don't you have to get to the hospital fast or something? And then, whatever you said to make them go, okay, I guess.
Security hot sauce. That's what I would have said before.
All right. Oh, sorry. I got a distraction real quick.
Distraction.
He came to see me. So, yeah. So, yeah, whatever your next plan is, pull him out of the Valkyrie module and do your plan. The Valkyrie module, pardon me, his vitals are kind of all over the place, in a way that makes you think that he is definitely still somehow under the effects of the various drugs. But there's also indicators that that something in his system is like tamping things down and keeping things from just going off the charts.
Can the Valkyrie module identify the drugs that are in his system?
Why, you can make an attempt to do that by rolling Valkyrie module rating, which is 6, plus your first aid, to determine if you can get a read on what's in his system.
So how would I roll that?
You should be able to. It should. Does it not ask you to do a bonus with the roll when you roll first aid or medicine rather?
Yeah, I asked for modifiers.
Right. So you can add 6 to that.
6 that. Okay, cool. I wanted to make sure I wasn't missing a Valkyrie module roll somewhere.
Right. Okay. So yeah, you look at everything and you have. Yes, you. Oh, wait, maybe not. You could choose medicine history or biology metahuman. Biology metahuman would be the better one, but you have a much higher medicine history roll. But no, you wouldn't be doing medicine history. It's just medicine. So go ahead. That's just a specialization. So medicine is actually what you're going to roll.
Okay.
Not the history one. So this is your knowledge skill medicine as opposed to your active skill medicine. Okay. Ooh. Close, but not a glitch. Yeah, so your knowledge of various medicines and various pharmaceutical products and their use and abuse, it's you're pretty sure it's kamikaze. In fact, it's a wonder that this guy is unconscious. Because also looking at the Valkyrie module, you do note that among his cyberware and bioware is a pain editor. So yeah, unless he's out, he is not out, right? So
knowing this, Satchel is going to put another set of metal restraints on this man in case he wakes up and starts freaking out.
All right. So now he's metal restrained, plastic restrained, triple plastic restrained, I think. Metal restrained, and his legs are rubber banded. I mean, he probably wouldn't be able to chase after anyone because his legs would be really wobbly for a minute or two.
And all righty. So do we want to do this with the van moving? Or
I feel like that would be a poor decision, unless it is the two of y'all doing this with a spirit, and I'm keeping the van running in case we have to drive away fast because he's on kamikaze.
Okay.
So you let me know which one is better.
I guess we could drive with the door open and we could just kick him out if he starts wilding out.
I think
These are all things you can do.
I think we should not do this in the van. Intimidation factor is everything. Plus, the van is too valuable. Listen, trust me. If there's one thing I know about, it's talking to people. Mm-hmm. So, what we should do is we should go to somewhere like totally secluded, abandoned buildings, bandos. First of all, they're totally off-putting. Disorients the viewer. They don't know where they are. They see roaches and rats and leaky pipes. Incredibly intimidating, no matter how big you are. And then you see that you don't have legs anymore. You know these people mean business. You could totally just be a dead body in this abandoned building, and they wouldn't give a care. If we do it in the van, what's going through his head is, they're not going to kill me in here. They need this. It's too much evidence, too much to clean up. Draw me back. It would draw us back to the scene of the crime.
So, is there any obviously look dilapidated buildings nearby?
I would know that answer, right? Wouldn't I? Because I know the area pretty well, right? I'm from here. Excuse me.
Yeah, you're still in the corridor at the south. You ask Etienne to find an abandoned building nearby, and he reroutes you to an abandoned building.
Do you mind doing your Cincy dealy and seeing if it's this building is as abandoned as it seems?
I would have to go inside to do that. Because from out here, all I can see is that I can see what's outside of the building. And then I'd literally have to like go from room to room in the building to see if it was abandoned. But sure, I could do it. So I guess I'll sit down in the corner of the van, and then I'll go into astral mode.
All right. As you exit the van in the astral, you notice first that there's nothing particular about the building that raises any of your hackles. As you move into the building slowly, place by place, you don't see anything except a couple of really small auras that make you think of like rats and stuff, which is a good thing. That's kind of what you were looking for. But there's definitely no squatters here, which is weird to you because normally you go into an empty building, there's always at least some squatter, like someone just kind of living there and hanging out, just doing their own thing, not anyone dangerous, but but I guess they do things different on this side of the wall.
Okay, so then I will. Is it like open so I can see everything on the floor? There are a bunch of walls and shit.
No, there's walls and stuff. So you're kind of going through slowly and checking everything out. It takes a couple of minutes.
I want to check the first floor fully. I don't have to go room to room, do I?
If you want to fully see all the rooms, you do. But like I said, it only takes a couple of minutes.
Okay, so then I'll go from. Is this on the map? Do I see the building?
No, this is not on the map. Okay, it's just in your head. So whatever it looks like to you is what it looks like to you.
So I want to start going from like wall to wall, room to room, section to section. Does it have multiple floors?
Yeah, it does. It has about 3 floors. Again,
so I just want to do this floor first.
Sure. Yeah, there's nothing in there.
Okay, and then I guess I'll go up to the second floor.
All right. Yeah, it takes you about 3 minutes to clear the entire building.
Okay, so can I just clear the building and see what I see?
Yeah. You do. It's just a building, empty building with rooms.
Okay, cool. It's empty. So I'll go back into my body.
Yep.
And then I will tell everyone the building is empty. I suggest is there a basement in this building?
No. You didn't think there was.
Should I go back and check? Or is there no basement?
You can go back and check.
All right, I'll go back and check. So I'll be back, guys. And then I'll go back and astral.
Roll 3 dice.
3?
Yep.
Roll 3 dice. Roll 3 dice. 3 blind dice. I got a 1. That's 1/3.
Okay, so there is no basement per se. But it is a solid brick building. You feel
if I had rolled 3, would there have been a basement?
If you had a 2, there would have been a basement.
Damn it! Damn it!
So yeah, but like I said, it's a solid brick building. So you feel like, as long as you stay to the rear maybe and away from any windows that no one will hear the screams.
There's no way Etienne, can you check and see if there's any abandoned buildings with basements around here?
He says, "Étouffé." And then
isn't that food?
And then he looks and says that there is, but it's far. and it takes him a couple of minutes.
I think this should be fine. I have a white noise generator to help dampen some noise.
You know what? If you feel like this is the best place to do it, sure. You guys are the adults. All right. So let's go in here. I suggest maybe for some reason I feel like we should go to the third floor. I feel like that's dangerous because it'll be harder to get out. But then I feel like he'll be less heard from up there.
We can dangle.
But I'll let you guys decide.
Legs.
You know what? I'll let you guys decide. I think at this point, there's no basement, so we're mincing hairs. So let's go in. Let's get this done.
Mincing hairs.
Yes. Mincing is to like finely chop something, and hairs are already really thin. So that the point is they don't need to be minced.
Got it. All right. So
Well, I mean, you acted like you know what I was talking about. What you mean?
So Nico says we're mincing hairs, and how are you getting this guy in? Are you just going in the front door, which may or may not be locked, etc., so on, yakety schmackety?
I guess we'll have to carry him, or can't Gertrude just throw him over her shoulder?
Is there a delivery dock or something on this building? What kind of building is this?
It is an office building of some sort, but there is an alley that goes into the back where there's maybe like a side entrance that you can go to.
I go there.
Okay, that's where you go, and Etienne is like, voila, the door is unlocked.
At least you're committed.
So Satchel starts going over to the Valkyrie module and like opening it up so we can start pulling him in.
He kind of moans a little bit as you do. He doesn't wake up, but it's just that little like.
He's starting to get groggy.
Yeah, we're probably on the clock here. So y'all let me know if you want me inside or if you want me to keep the van running in case we have to drive away very fast.
We want you inside and bring your big ass sword with you.
I feel like if you're not there, then he'll feel a greater threat. Even though, you're a troll, you have such a sweet kindness about you. Your voice is very angelic and it's too soothing for what we're about to do. We need, unless you have like another voice that's like intense and scary.
I've been working on my scary face, but not my scary voice.
You just put a little, like, pretend like there's a bunch of rocks and and then there's like a bunch of rocks right here. Not here. They have to be here. The rocks and
Trolls don't eat rocks. You know that, right?
I don't eat rocks. That's not what I was saying.
Okay.
I'm not a rock eater. I'm an adult. I'm just saying. I'm just saying that you focus the gravelly part right here, But just practice it while we're in while you can come now. It's whatever you want.
All right. And so while Gertrude practices talking like she's got rocks in her throat, we're going to take a 10-minute break, and we will come back after 10 minutes and see how this torture, but it's not torture, goes. Yes. So, thanks everybody for sticking with us, and we will see you in 10 minutes. Hey everybody, we are back from our break. I think that was about almost a 15-minute break actually, but my apologies. I didn't want to be eating my cheese while you guys were watching, because that would be... Anyway, all right. So to bring us back into the scene, we have on the third floor of this building a large orc tied to a chair. He's groggy, but not quite awake, not quite coherent. And standing around him are 3 Shadowrunners. The chair is roughly in the middle of the room. Where is everybody in relation to this individual?
I'm right in front of him. Not like close enough, not in striking range, but
So we have him in a chair.
He's in a chair, plastic banded, metal banded, rubber banded.
I'm behind him, and I have both the stun baton and my vibroblade drawn.
Okay. And Gertrude?
I'm trying to wall tough against a post or something like that. Trying to look intimidating.
Leaned up with your arms crossed, like.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Satchel's going to turn on his white noise generator just in case there's some screaming to kind of dampen it however we can.
All right. So he's unconscious. How are you waking him up? Or are you just going to wait for him to wake up naturally?
I want to cast the stuff before I wake him up.
Okay. Sounds like a good idea. So what are you casting first?
So first I want to call the spirit.
Okay. Calling a spirit. What is the force of the spirit you're trying to call?
I already have them.
Oh,
I have two
the
services
spirit that you have.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. So he is there.
Yon Spirit.
Hey. What?
Hey.
What's up?
I need you to. I know you're still hovering and protecting us, and I appreciate that.
Yeah.
But I need you to also just hang out. We're gonna do this thing, and if it doesn't go well, I'm gonna need you to get him to talk again. And this time, there's no doors.
Okay, so hang out, and if you can't make him talk, I make him talk.
Yes, but I want you to stand behind him.
From behind him.
I just want you right now, just stand behind him and wait. But be visible. This isn't a service, right? This
As you,
a service.
it is a service. The whole thing is a service. I mean, it's not like 5 services because you're like telling them 5 different things.
Okay.
One service to be ready is a service. But and then if he does the thing, it's still the same service. Or if he doesn't do the thing, it's still the same service. So,
okay, gotcha.
Right.
Gotcha.
As he says, be visible. You see this large sort of bipedal, hunched over wolf man with cybernetic things going through his head and everything. Obviously not really cybernetic. It's all, just part of the look of the spirit. As he then stalks behind the man next to Satchel, looks over at Satchel. What's up?
My cholesterol, apparently.
And then I say, it's because all that taco. What's the place called? Taco Tundra. That place I hate.
Temple.
Taco Temple.
This taco sounds delicious. I'll have to try one sometime.
I think I have extras, and I offer one to Yon Spirit.
Wow. Yon Spirit takes the taco and gives you a little bit of a nod and then opens it and just the whole thing. Chews on it a little bit. Those who know things about spirits or don't know things about spirits wonder if that's just going to pass through and fall on the floor. Is he real or is he going to digest it? Nobody knows. But we'll have to find out later, I suppose. What's the next thing you're doing? He's ready.
Then I want to pre-edge and I want to cast Confusion. I'm sorry. Chaotic World.
Chaotic World at force
2.
Okay. So casting it. So turn on your pre-edge button, cast the spell, and then turn off your pre-edge button, and then roll the drain.
Goodness gracious.
Wow. 0 drain from that, and you have 10 hits. I am going to roll his resistance because he still does get one, even though he is unconscious.
Even though he's not alive?
Yeah, just, there's still a protection against all of that. So I'm going to roll for him. I mean, he's not going to get anything near a 10, just so you know.
I'm muted.
It's 9 net hits.
Okay.
So he has an additional -9 to any dice rolls that he's going to get.
Okay.
So
So then I'm
that's
going to go ahead and cast that physical mask on his leggies.
okay. So you are applying this. So you have focus concentration. So you're going to apply this spell and hold it with your focus concentration, and then you're going to, so that you don't get the negative, and then you're going to cast physical mask.
Okay. And that is going to be accomplished. What buttons do I need to press?
So if you're casting it with edge, you can do the same thing, but you don't really need to because he's at a -9. So you're just going to pick a regular force, like a force 5 or a 6, and just cast it without your edge on. And then you'll just cast it and then the drain.
Damn.
Yeah, that was really unfortunate. You can use another point of edge to re-roll the roll.
Everything, I guess.
Yeah.
So I'll do. I still have to do my drain though, right?
Well, if you do that, go ahead and do the drain now.
It's not letting me.
There you go.
Oh.
So okay, you have choices. You kind of shouldn't have the choice because we said we were going to do the edge. But so if you could either cast it again, like just let it go and cast it again, or you can use edge to recast this one. If you had taken drain, like if you thought you were going to take drain, you would probably just want to recast this one. But if you thought you weren't going to take any drain, you would probably just cast it again. So this time it'll be a freebie, but in the future you'll have to like think about that when you're
So if I just roll again, I don't have to worry about drain.
Well, because you didn't have drain for this one, so it's as if you're just starting from scratch.
No, I'm saying if I re-roll these that I didn't hit, I don't have to worry about drain.
Yes, if you re-roll those, if you re-roll those, you don't have to worry about drain.
Okay, so let me do that. I'm gonna do that.
That's 11 dice.
It's gonna cost an edge to re-roll.
It costs an edge to re-roll, and it's 11.
Like one of my edges or one of my like audience edges.
I don't know. Do you have any edges from the chat?
How much does the edge cost?
You cannot give yourself edge.
Damn it!
That somebody did that.
I've been saving my points for this moment.
Somebody did that some time ago, and and that brought up the question.
Oh man.
So Kaida, you don't have any edge, but you do have 2 of your own edge to spend.
And how do I get those back?
8 hours of rest to get your own edge back.
Goodness. All right.
And I'm saying you don't have any because you did use the one you had to cast that.
Just now, yeah. No.
Oh wait, Kinder Mage gives you an edge.
Kinder Mage is the
Chris. You can't give me an edge either.
You did say that I couldn't give myself an edge. Yes. And the world continues spinning.
Aren't you on staff, Chris? Come on.
And I'm about to use both of them. Hopefully I don't have to, but I might use both of them if I have to. So I'm going to use one of those edges to re-roll these right now. So what do I do?
Just roll 11 dice. And this will be your new roll.
Oh, I didn't put a number. Sorry.
Yeah, just so when you click the dice and then just put 11.
I got 4. Is that enough?
All right. I mean, that's so basically he has to resist 4 hits or else he believes it. So he's going to roll logic plus willpower minus, and you saw when I rolled that before.
9.
Well, so you saw when I rolled that before, if you like hover over the 1 where I rolled willpower, hover over the 1.
Okay.
And you can see, so he's got a 4 and a 3. So that means he's got a 4 willpower, 3 logic, because it's logic plus willpower. But then you see there's a -5 because of all his injuries. So that's a -5. And then, so he only got to roll 2. So he's at -5, and then he's got an additional minus of 9 on top of that. So
got a -14.
So he's got to roll that same roll at -14.
Okay.
He doesn't have any dice to roll, is the bottom line.
Oh!
Yeah,
I love it
so
when a plan comes together. Thanks,
so when
Chris.
he wakes up,
Thanks, Kinder Mage.
Yes.
Hella dope. And I might use this edge later on in this interrogation too.
How are you waking him up?
So first, I want to take some rubber bands, some physical bands or something, and wrap them around his legs right above where it looks like there's a wound.
Sure. I thought we had already done that, but okay.
Okay, fine. It's done. Okay, cool.
Yep.
Then I'm going to look at Gertrude. Okay.
Are you sure you're ready?
No.
All right, I'm gonna give him a stim patch now, and that should wake him up.
Are you ready?
What rating of stim patch are you giving him?
That's an excellent question.
Why am I actually nervous?
It's a rating 1.
So considering all the things that are going on with him, is that the one you want to give, or do you not have any other ones? I'm not saying it won't work. I'm just saying that he's been anesthetized in the neck and other things are going on. So
That's what I have on my person. So I don't think that those are included in med kits. Would something like an epinephrine or something similar be in a med kit?
Not in a med kit. So what you're gonna do then is, if you apply the stim patch, you're gonna roll 1 die. I'm going 5 and 6. It works.
Satchel has a stim level 6 one.
So he'll figure that out when this one does or does not work, I think, because yeah. So Gertrude slaps the stim patch on and kind of steps back, expecting him to at least kind of open his eyes, and he's just like,
Wake up! I'm ready now. I'm in action time.
So he does not wake up.
So kind of like pokes him in the back of the head with the with the stun baton, but it's not on. He's not activating it. He's just kind of like poking him.
Would a stun thing wake him up?
No.
No. If I hit him, will that wake him up? Is there water? Water usually works, doesn't it?
Gertrude is pretty sure that it's just the lack of punch in that stim patch is why he didn't wake up. And if you had one that was better, that it would wake him up.
Yeah,
So,
I carry baby stim patches for quick emergencies, not for bringing people back from the brink of possible death like this. So if someone has something a little stronger,
that I do. And then so he reaches to his back and then hands it to Gertrude to expertly apply, and then he steps back and takes his position behind him again.
okay, so now you've got a rating 6, and you apply that.
so that's another D6 roll. Is that
66? Yes.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
All right.
Expert.
Okay.
Now, could I apply?
Tech, can you please roll your cursor over the 1 there?
Oh my god!
I was too focused on rocks in my throat.
Yes. So, I guess they can't see it unless I type some stuff. That should raise it up, and then once that's raised up, they should be able to see. There you go. Now they should be able to see the 1 now. What that is? Yeah, all those reds.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All those reds. Yep. That's good. All right. So,
I do have some nerfs, and I do have some edge, and I do have an auto hit.
So the 1 is enough to wake him up. This is not a critical glitch. It is just a glitch. So as he wakes up, he spasms and starts kind of going into some convulsions. So he's just kind of like, and a little bit frothing at the mouth. It looks like he's seizing. His eyes are open now, but yeah, that's what's happening in front of you. Is there anything you want to do about that?
I mean, I would like to not kill this guy with medicine. That's my preference.
As he's convulsing, suddenly like the chair tips onto the side and he just pop, and now he's on his side convulsing, tied to the chair.
No.
And there he is. I am going to make a quick several of the restraints snap and the metal restraints twist, but those don't quite give way completely. Not that he's trying, it's just the motion and the jerking. Seizures, he'll either die or it'll run its course. And after a few moments, he stops shaking. He looks around, not realizing he doesn't have legs. He kind of like tries to get up.
Are his hands still bound?
His hands are kind of bound to the chair. The chair is kind of jacked up, but he turns and he tries to get up, and then he stumbles and falls to the ground. Not necessarily because he doesn't have legs, but his legs are
alrighty.
Toilet legs, I guess that's what we're calling it.
I'm gonna cast bind on him.
Okay.
Can I? What are the negatives that I would have to use to cast this? Do I have an auto hit?
No, but you do have edge. You have a smackdown, actually. I think it's the last smackdown you'll ever. It's the last smackdown you'll ever get from Chris, so we'll use it right now.
Yeah.
All right. So you cast bind, and now he's like on the ground.
Wait. I have an edge and a smackdown?
No, you have your own edge.
Yes. And then I have a smackdown from Chris. Okay, yes. I'm gonna cast this bind enough to where he will like in since it's smackdown, right? I get to be like whatever I want it to be.
Yeah, tell us how it works.
I want this to be like the strongest bind of the century. Like this dude can't even he can't do anything but talk and blink and breathe. Gertrude, I got you. And breathe.
And move his neck up and down. So
we can see
his legs or his lack of legs.
Sure.
Okay.
Can I bind him to the chair so that he's still sitting in the chair?
Yes, he is still somewhat sitting in the chair. I mean,
okay. I want to bind him and put him back upright in the chair. So he's sitting and he's like, but he's stiff, like, you know what I mean?
Okay, the magic holds him up because the chair would not anymore if it was just the chair. But the magic holds him up, and he's now in the chair, and he
silence. I'm in control. And then I look at I look at Satchel behind him and like give him a little wink. It's awesome, isn't it?
It's like.
And I'm back to serious face. I look over to Gertrude and I do like this. I'm like, listen, we need information. And this can go one of two ways. It can go hard or it can go harder. Now, don't freak out, dude. I'm a master magician. Just gonna tell you straight up, you don't have any legs.
He looks down to his stumps, and he gets to roll a die. Now, the reason he gets to roll a die is not because he's not going to beat 4 with one die, and he's got to get a 6 to even get a success. But he could roll a 1. I always allow for rolling a 1.
What does that mean?
It'd be really bad if he gets a 1.
For us? Oh.
No, for him. So he got 0 hits. And he did indeed roll a 1. All of a sudden.
Wait. Prepare me, because I don't like the feelings I just got from
so
everybody.
Because it was him, it's good for you.
Okay.
It's bad for him. Okay.
He's not gonna die, is he, Danny?
He's not gonna die.
Okay.
This is like this is gonna benefit you. Okay.
Cool.
If basically he f***ed up really bad on his roll.
Okay.
So he starts immediately freaking out. Ah, what the hell? Where are my legs? And he's just trying to look down, but he can't move or anything. You're crazy.
And I'm holding him. I'm like, your legs are in the ether. They're mine now. They belong to me.
Give them back.
Oh,
they're mine.
You want your legs? Calm down. You can get your legs back. But you're gonna have to play ball.
I'm not good at ball.
Well, you better learn. Then I look at Gertrude and I give her a signal to give me like an affirmation from the back. Yeah. Good. So, and then I'm just like, then I look at Gertrude. What do we need to know?
It doesn't matter. I'll tell you everything. Just get my legs back.
I'll give you your legs back. You'll get them. But right now they're in the ether. And if you don't answer quick, the ether bunnies are going to eat them. So you better cooperate.
I won't be able to fight without legs.
What does he know about Richard Bryson?
What does he know about Richard Bryson? What do you know about Richard Bryson?
He's the guy. He made the recording, the Sid one. That's how I know who zapped me.
Did anybody catch that?
Said that he's the guy who made the recording of Sid, and that's how he knows who zapped him?
What do you mean zapped you?
We were fighting. I was going to win. I was going to win.
And then, gotta calm down, dude. Because I can't understand you. You got to calm down, or those ether bunnies are getting fed.
I was going to win, and then I got like a stunned baton in my leg. It jacked me up, and then the guy hit me in the face, and I lost.
You were supposed to throw that match though, right?
It doesn't. I was big leagues.
I heard big leagues.
So it's his turn at bat.
So essentially, you were supposed to throw the match, but you didn't. So they shocked you.
Cyberware.
You had to pay for your cyberware and your punishment. Aha. Okay. So you had to choose between paying for your cyberware or throwing the fight like they told you to. And since you didn't throw the fight, they zapped you in the middle of the fight.
Sid did it. It was Sid. Sid, that little worm.
Sid.
I'd kick him when I get my legs back.
If you get your legs back.
I'm telling you everything.
What else
do you want to know?
Gertrude, what else do we need to know? It's working.
Oh goodness. This was a bad plan.
It's working.
Does Richard Bryson have the only copy of the fight?
Does Richard Bryson have the only copy of the fight?
I don't know, but he knows. Ask him. He has it. He sent it to me. My comlink. It was in my permit.
The comlink in your apartment. I can contact Richard through the comlink in your apartment.
Yeah. You already know this, as Etienne has cracked that comlink.
Thank you.
I
already knew that. That's not good information.
I'll tell you whatever you want. I'll tell you.
Where can we find Richard Bryson?
He's from some fancy place up north. I don't know exactly where. He never told me.
Is he a danger to us at all? Like, has he got magic, or does he got like massive guns or a deadly van?
He's a decker, man. He's a matrix jockey. What else do you need to know? I need my legs back.
You'll get him. Calm it down, Gertrude. Satchel. What else do we need to know?
Like, where can we find this? The copy.
Where can we find the copy?
With the guy. I'm sure he's got it.
With Sid or Richard?
Richard. Sid didn't know about it.
And all this gang involvement that we're hearing about, Detroit, Milwaukee, and is that going to cause us any problems as we go to deal with this Richard dude? Like, if he's fortified, you know what? You understand that the magic I hold over your legs, they're mine forever. I can call them back at any time. And if I find out that you're leading us astray, you'll literally be walking down the street with studs one day.
I don't know, man. He just called me and said he had something for me, and that would change everything. And then he showed me and then told me what to do. That's all I was doing.
Are we satisfied?
If you're not, one time I mixed this fake puke at home, and then I went to this movie theater, and I hid the puke in my jacket, and then I climbed up to the balcony, and then I made a noise like this, and then I dumped it over the side, all over the people in the audience, and then it was horrible. All the people started getting sick. They throwing up all over each other, and I never felt so bad in my life. Don't take my legs.
And then so Satchel he kind of looks over and sees if he's kind of like, are we done here?
And then I'm looking like, I really just want to keep asking this guy stuff, but
I really like this guy.
Right? It's like, oh, yeah, I'm like, Gertrude, are we satisfied?
He needs to treat Stephanie nice, and he needs to stop doing drugs if that's what makes him treat Stephanie mean.
You
watching
need to remember this forever. You might not remember this, but not too long ago, you punched a guy in the face. Kind of looked like me. Yeah? He's my sensei. And now I own your legs. You will remember the name Kaida Norel, and you will fear it. Because at any moment in time, if you're ever disrespectful to a woman, or if you're ever abusive to your girlfriend Stephanie, who loves you dearly, so much so that she almost caught on to Art taking you away and tried to protect you.
She tried to save me?
If you ever hurt her again, your legs will belong to the Ether Bunnies. I swear to God. Just like this. You hear me? I don't hear you.
Yeah.
Now look at Gertrude. All right, dude. But I'm going to keep the bind on him, right?
Uh-huh.
You want your legs back?
Please. Yes, please.
By the power of the ether, I call back my property. Loan this man's legs back to him, but forever be mine. And then I lift the physical mask.
Oh! Oh! I still can't feel him.
And
can't feel
Satchel reaches behind with a knife and cuts the rubber bands off of his legs.
Okay. Are you trying to do that surreptitiously so he doesn't see?
Oh no, I'm letting him know. Like it's fine. Like you do, we didn't want you to bleed out with your legs in the ether.
Okay. So you cut the bands and he's it hurts. It hurts so bad. Why?
Yeah.
Them ether bunnies were gnawing on it.
Ether bunnies are real. So I still got them bound, and I'm just like, all right, guys. Now, we're going to let you go. If you try anything, legs, ether, or turn around.
He can't.
Oh, that's right. So then, so I say, or, and then I turn him to face the spirit.
I'll allow it.
Okay.
What the hell is that?
Your consequences.
The spirit just looks down and is like, and then I can't make a belch just happen. So he just burps like taco smell into his face.
And then I turn him back towards me. Capiche?
What is that, French? I don't know.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
All right, guys. Spirit, keep an eye on him until we get to the car. Please.
Okay.
And then
You got another taco.
I do. I give him a taco.
Take two.
Ah,
give him
thanks.
two. Give him two. Give him two.
This is like I only got 5. Like I ate one. I already gave it, and I'm giving him 2.
Well, Spirit, next time that we do this, we're taking you to Taco Temple.
About it.
Great. All right.
All righty. So then I'm going to keep binding him until he's out of our sight.
Okay. So I've give Miguel Garza a taco until I only have 1 taco left. And then
you put it on his lap, I guess, because he can't take it.
Yeah. I put it on his lap before we leave. I'm like, so you don't pass out on the way home. Walk out.
And as you walk out and you release the bind, you hear a collapse to the floor. The chair breaks under his weight because it wasn't actually a
Right.
chair anymore.
Right.
And then you hear the sobbing of a man who's just been defeated so thoroughly, just broken. Just feels bad, man.
Just pure sadness on this dude.
Sorry. Why do I feel so bad?
I don't. Listen, we got what we needed. No blood was shed. We're awesome.
As you climb back into the ambulance, you think you can hear the faint sounds of the sobbing coming from the 3rd floor. As you close the door and drive away. A minute later, the spirit sort of manifests inside the van, eating a taco.
Spiritus.
He didn't want it, and then he eats the rest of the taco. And
I look at Satchel
then,
and I was like, told you should have gave it to him.
and then he looks over at you and goes, "Well, that's everything then.
Thank
See
you.
you later."
Wait, does it? He doesn't hang around till sunlight to continue. To
Well, no,
protect-
because you just use because you use the service in the thing, and then you use the
Right.
service. Right.
But then the service of protecting us that doesn't last till sunrise.
You know what? Actually, yeah, it will. So he just says, "See you later. I'll watch your back," and leaves.
And
You're
then
right.
as he goes into the ether, I'm like, "You're awesome."
All right. All right, so we're back. Poor guy.
Not the story about the vomit though. That's what did it for me. It's like I'm literally going to tell you everything. Give me my legs.
All right. So, yeah, I think that story was good enough. But yeah, so
Gertrude. I'm sorry.
Mm.
Go ahead, Danny.
I was just gonna say, but it's about midnight at this point.
It sounds like we're gonna have to go after this Richard dude, but it doesn't seem like it'll entangle us with these other gangs. So I don't know, maybe we want to rest up before we go after this guy, or maybe want to strike at night while the knife is hot. What do you want to do?
Well, how are y'all feeling?
I could use about an hour and a half, 2 hours of rest.
Yeah.
But I mean, we have this spirit until sunrise, which is, I guess, 6 hours away.
Etienne, have you figured out if he's at the house right now?
It is night. I believe he's there. Voulez-vous coucher avec moi?
No. I know what that one means. And no thank you.
And so, yeah, that's the answer you get.
So my only thought on waiting is that you really did a number on Miguel back there. I really hope that he will reconsider his life choices. But part of reconsidering those life choices might be to call Richard.
Maybe, maybe not. I mean, he's under the impression that I can reclaim his legs at any point in time. Well, I mean, I thought that was the impression. I don't like the way certain faces just changed. Was that? I mean, we left him in a puddle. Do you think he'd really test us? Because then I'll actually go back and chop off his. I mean, sorry, what?
So maybe not exactly this second, but I think the longer that we wait, the more likely it is that if he decides to change all his ways, that he may find a way to get in touch with Richard to tell him that the deal is off or whatever arrangement they had.
So you think we should go now?
I think sooner rather than later is going to be the better route.
No time like the.
So maybe I can try to while you whatever recon needs to be done. I'm down with that. I'm gonna just take a little siesta while you guys prepare everything.
Sounds good.
Just a light siesta.
It's going to be at least an hour to get to the community itself. So, pardon me. So you'll have at least that hour, and then you'll kind of want to figure out what.
So I'm going to take this opportunity to get and just chill in the corner, crisscross applesauce, and then yeah.
All right. Is Gertrude driving directly there?
Yeah, I think so. Unless we need to make any kind of stops along the way. But nobody has said anything.
Okay. All right. So go ahead for for Nico rather. Make a Willpower body check.
Willpower body or body willpower? Does it not matter?
Either or.
Okay.
All right.
Went
So
body
you
willpower.
you get one back. So let me go ahead
Take
and
it.
annotate. Hey, that one, you're no longer at a -1 for wounds with that one.
Awesome.
Is there anything that I can do to regain this last
you
track?
need 8 hours to do a
Okay.
healing roll. So okie dokie. You arrive. It is a very nice part of it's just south of North Chicago. North Chicago is almost like it's like a separate almost city up there. It's in Highland Park, which is where a lot of the well-to-do folks that live in Chicago, that's where a lot of them live. There's like this row of mansions that's just disgusting when you have to drive to work on that road from the naval station that's north there to the army base that's just south of it. You know, if you're living on the naval station and working at the army base, you know, you drive right through there. It's anyway. So yeah, that's where this it's in this neighborhood ish. So it's not Mansion Row, but it's in that same city.
It's row-ish.
It's row-ish. And nice. The community is a gated community. There is a building. It is fenced, and there appear to be 2 security. You can see the light is on inside, so you can see them. And then you can tell that there's a few cameras stationed around. From what Etienne says, basically, they stop anyone pulling in if they don't register as a resident, and then they ask what your business is. They either check the manifest to see if you're supposed to be there, or if not, they can call the resident and ask if you should be let in. But you can't just drive in.
Would ATN be able to hack that list?
He could try. He is going to attempt to hack that list. So the first thing he's going to do is where's his skills at? That's not bad. Let's see here. Oh, well, that's lucky. Really? Okay. Voulez-vous aha? And
Voulez-vous, aha.
yeah, that's how it goes, right? Aha. Anyway, there's a lot of French in pop songs and stuff. Now that I'm thinking about it. Anyway, he takes a moment and attempts to write onto their manifest that you are visiting one of the folks inside to put you on the manifest. So with that, let's do another. This is a computer check. Oops, nope. There we go. All right. Who is it? Tries again. Oh, he's got his agent. So let's do that. And after a few moments, he says, "Et tu, Brute?" And then,
isn't that Latin or Roman?
wait, what?
It's Latin.
It's the same. It's the same thing.
You're literally over here just like foreign language.
Yeah. So so he gets that. He looks over and says, "Okay, so we are manifested to a Regina Waters." Yeah, Regina Waters, and we're here to fix the plumbing.
Okay. So with that all set up, I will pull up to the gate.
All right. As you pull up to the gate, you are flagged down by the guys. One of them steps out. Kind of tries to look in as you roll your window down. Etienne is sitting in the front and make sure that he has his toolkit there so that it looks a little more legit. But what brings you in this evening?
Hi, we're here for Regina Waters.
Regina Waters. Okay. Is she expecting you?
She is. She has a little plumbing issue that we need to get in there and fix.
I see. And he pulls up his little pad and what's the name? Etienne says something that he put in the thing. Okay. Yeah, it So at this point, go ahead and make a con test. You get +1, +2, 3, say 4, but then minus, so a +2 to your con.
That is not a skill I have.
It's charisma +1, or default a roll social, default charisma social +2. And hold on a second. Etienne, does Etienne have con? Etienne also does not have con. Do you want to use edge to reroll your misses?
Oh, I would. Can I use after the fact an auto hit?
You can, to make that a 1.
Yeah.
Then do you want to use edge to reroll?
Let's do it.
Okay, so you have 1. You can roll 3 dice and see what you get. Not bad, not bad. That's 3 hits, which is better than 2.
Thank you, chat.
Okay.
Tender Mage specifically.
Okay.
Dumb, dude.
Because he's not trying to kill us now. Just wait.
I guess it checks out. You have the address, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So do go ahead and head directly there, please, and good luck with that plumbing problem. With that, he backs away as you roll up the window and drive on in. I am taking you to the map.
Yeah.
All right, so here's the map. It looks like canvas because they're very, 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 very tiny squares. You are coming up this main road from the south side of the map. This you can see where the entrance is, kind of in the middle. So you basically have to drive up about a third of the way, then kind of just follow the curve around, and then there's a fork, and you can either, well, turning right is direct, turning left at the fork be a little bit further, but you'll get there. You have the map from the handout I sent in, so it's kind of up to you how you want to work this. Make a perception test if you are looking out the window at all.
Yes. Any modifiers?
Nope, just whatever natural modifiers you have. Okay, 2. I suspect Gertrude is looking out the windows.
Yeah, I was going to ask if I could make one since I was also driving.
Yes, you can. So both of you notice as you're driving that there are probably as you're driving up, you see one on the straightaway, you see one on the curve. As you're pulling up to the fork, you see another one. You see drones, just these wheeled drones kind of cruising around. They all seem like the same model. If you have the proper knowledge skill, you can make a roll. I believe Etienne does as well, so you can ask him if no one else does. Jesus thing. All right.
Hey, at the end, what are all these drones running about?
Interestingly, he does not have that skill either.
What is the skill?
I mean, anything that would be like recognizing drones. He says, oh, looks like little Doberman's just a standard sort of security drone, huh? Que sera, sera.
That sounded like Etienne. I'm not sure what it meant, but it sounded like Etienne.
Tabarnak!
Isn't that like a demon in Dungeons and Dragons? Anyway, so you note that there are now security drones, and that gets him to go into the internet or the matrix and look around again. And he does note that there are also aerial drones. So there are drones that are sort of patrolling. You imagine that they must have cameras.
Do drones have like a FOF system or something like that installed?
They can communicate with each other. They're probably on the same network and probably feeding everything to security. I don't know what you said, but I hope that answers the question.
Oh, like if they have like a friend or foe like thing, like if so we send our roto drone up there, would they just assume that this is a hostile roto drone, or would they not care since there's a bunch
They
of
may or may not. So, okay. So, and friend or foe detection system. Got it. Yeah, they may not. You'd have to have like a sensors knowledge skill or a drones knowledge skill to get a better idea of that.
Oh yeah, Satchel has no idea about any of that kind of jazz.
Yep.
Where is this Regina Waters house in relation to our target house?
The Regina Waters house is actually, so as you come up and turn left here, there's on that curve, right about in the middle, there's a right turn that takes you into a cul-de-sac. And in that cul-de-sac, this is the cul-de-sac. is Regina's house right here. This is the target house.
I'm surprised there's an area like this in Chicago.
It's not actually in Chicago. It's the part of the sprawl,
Okay.
and it's Highland Park, north of Chicago.
Okay.
It's about a 30-minute train ride.
Okay. All right then. Shoot.
So we have a couple of options. The first option is to park in front of Regina's house and cut across a couple of yards. The second is to keep going like we missed the turn and then break down in front of the target house. Those are the two options that I can come up with right now. But we're going to have an excuse with these drones running around.
Breaking down is always best, but we're gonna have to make it seem like a real breakdown, right?
Well, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But we don't want to actually hurt the car because then we'll be stuck. I guess we could do another physical mask. I don't know. Yeah, I probably wouldn't be that much drain to use a physical mask against this car just to make it look like there's smoke coming out of it, right?
It is really difficult to cast spells like that on non-people, and the more technologically advanced it is, the harder it is.
Say that one more time.
The more technologically advanced something is that you're trying to affect with magic, the harder it is to do. So like if it's let's say that it's just a mug, right? Boom, I want to make this look like a different mug or whatever. That's like, it rolls 3 dice against you. So that's easy. Let's say it's a gun. That's like 9 dice against you, which is okay. But something like super.
What if I'm being
complex?
More specific? I don't want to cast physical mask on the van. I just want to cast physical mask on the hood of the van to make it look like smoke's coming out of it.
So if it's going to make it look like smoke's coming out of it, then that's actually the hood and underneath, right? So if you wanted to make it look like the hood's crumpled up, that would just be the hood. But if you want to make it look like there's an engine failure because smoke's popping out, that would be the engine, which would be difficult.
I think between Etienne and I, we could make it look broken without actually breaking it.
Awesome. I just want to be of assistance.
You are of great assistance.
I was talking to that. I was talking to the imaginary voice that we always hear.
I don't know anything about that.
You hear it? No, just me. Confusion. I must be chaotic world is still affecting me again.
I guess so. It doesn't affect you. It's.
I'm just playing. I'm just being
All
funny.
right. So, where are you driving?
So, if we're all in agreement, we'll go break down in front of the target house. I'm going to try and drive so that it looks like I missed the turn. And you know how you miss the turn, and so you're trying to look for somewhere to turn around so that you can go back? Because I don't want to pull into somebody else's driveway, obviously.
Obviously, yeah.
So do like the slow crawl when you're somewhere where you don't know where you are. You know, where you have to turn the radio off because you're concentrating so hard on where you are.
I don't know about that. Right. that gets crazy eyebrows and people running in our house around my way. You start slow rolling down a neighborhood you don't know, the dark, the middle of the night.
But that's why they have drones, so they don't have to worry about that. And probably most of these people are asleep.
Fair enough.
It's Far Cry from the dank little apartment that you just left a few hours ago. There is, you pretty much figure that this is at least AA. You will, if there are cops to be called, they will be here quickly.
Hey, you want to scope the place out, Nico? With your Casper the Friendly Ghost scout move? Can you not hear me?
Me?
Oh, yeah. I was asking, I was asking if you wanted to go into the astral and see if there's like where people were in the house, or if there was like an easy way into the house.
Well, before I do that, I'll just flash on my astral vision, because once I'm in the astral, if there's any spirits around, they'll see me. So first, I'm just gonna go straight into astral vision and just see if I can see any spirits in the neighborhood.
Why, yes. Yes, you can.
Mhm.
There is one spirit that is hovering over the house.
The same house that we're talking about?
Yes, there it is. That's how big it is.
Okay,
It's
so
not that big.
so I'm gonna tell the people, okay, like, so here's the deal, guys. Everything just changed. So there's a spirit hovering over that house, which means that someone here has magic, which means that they can also sense my spirit. Possibly. So good thing that we did this whole breaking down thing, because otherwise it'd look really sus. So
I mean, that's still only going to last for so long.
yeah, and I don't think if I was to then astral inside of this house, it would go well. Because I'm pretty sure that the spirit would blast me.
Yeah, and I can't do much against spirits.
And then I can't either in the astral.
Are there any lights on in the house right now?
They're not from the front, which you can see, but make a perception test.
I can always kill the spirit, but then that's like guns blazing.
And then the mage will know.
And then the mage will know.
You can tell that there is definitely a light on somewhere on the side of the building, on the west side of the building, maybe behind this, whatever this is, garage or whatever that's sticking out. There's definitely a light on back there because you can see it kind of shining on the bushes, but it could be an outside light.
Did we happen to get any sort of like schematics of this house or any idea about things like exterior lights or alarm systems or anything like that?
We also have to remember that this guy's a techno person too, right? He's a decker, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if we're fishing too much on his network, I don't know. I'm not deckish, but wouldn't he be able to tell? I don't know if it's like magic, but I mean, wouldn't he be able to tell if we're like this stuff?
Well, one of the things to consider in that Nico knows, and you've probably explained it elsewhere, is that spirits, even though they are on the astral and all this kind of stuff, they still require line of sight to see somebody, right? So you can still sneak even though a spirit's there. And the spirit's not stationary. It's not just looking in one direction. It is kind of doing a circle. So there are, like, you could do like
I can astral sneak into the house.
You could astral sneak into the house when it wasn't looking, if you just like zipped out pretty quick. That's the thing you could do. Also, if you're just regular sneaking without using any magic at all, you can also sneak. It's just the thing that makes that difficult for like someone like Satchel is that he can't see when the spirit's looking his direction, right? So like, red light, green light, you don't know when it's red light. So.
But I could also do it. I could also do it. In physical, right?
You could sneak up in the physical too. It's the same thing, and you actually could.
Safer though.
You could do the red light, green light part. Like you could be like green light, and then everyone scurries, and then you just before it turns around, you just be like red light, and then everyone stops. Like that kind of thing. I'm not saying that you have to use green light, red light. I'm just.
I'm once again at a loss, people. I feel like this is risky. Whatever we do, we're gonna have to sneak up. If we want a better schematic of the house, I'm gonna have to probably sneak in there to get it.
So really,
sneaking in. I mean, we could all go together, or I could just go, or Satchel could go by himself, and we could just communicate over the comlink. I can tell him what the spirit can and can't see.
Yeah, I'm not very sneaky, so.
Satchel's the sneak master, isn't he?
I'm pretty sneaky, he says, and he kind of like shrinks into himself a little bit. But yeah, I got this. Yeah, I got it.
Let's do
All right.
it.
So I'm going to. Oh my goodness. So I'm going to close my. I'm going to go into Astrovision.
Okay.
And then I'm going to look at the spirit and see what direction they're looking in. Are you ready, Satchel?
As ready as I'll ever be.
All right. So it stops and starts looking at you. Now, the reason it does this is because when you go into astral vision, you become dual natured. And so now you're actually on the astral and the physical at the same time.
Why didn't you tell me that?
This is how this is just learning the game by having it happen to you. So it's not like coming after you because you haven't crossed any thresholds, right? You haven't like come at it yet or anything. So, but it's just noticing you right now. Which does just kind of change its pattern. So the idea here is you can't just stay on astral vision the entire time. You've got to kind of try to time it so that like you're watching and then when he turns away, you move forward. And then as he's coming up, you got to like turn it off as you hide, so it's just, it's just,
I want to see if I can trick the spirit. So I want to see if I can trick the spirit.
Okay.
So the car's messed up, right? It looks messed up, right?
It doesn't look messed up to the spirit, just so you know.
Oh, the spirit can tell it's fine?
No, it doesn't look like anything. It looks like a big box.
Box of nothing, right? Okay.
Yeah, big box.
So, but they've made it look like, so I'm going to go out and look at the hood, right?
Okay.
And then I'm going to turn my astral vision off or whatever. And then, do I know where the spirit is in relate? Like, no, I don't know. I don't know what to do. I kind of want to do like a diversion. And I want to distract the spirit while Satchel runs into the house.
You could do something like that.
But Satchel will have to go one way and I'll have to go another. And so I guess I can keep the spirit. If I stay in astral vision, then the spirit's going to be focused on me, right?
I mean, it's going to be a little more attention to you than normal, but it's probably not going to do anything wonky, and it's still got to do its patrol because it's, it's smart too, and it knows things like about distractions and stuff. So you'd have to really get its attention.
Right.
Or you can just stay on the street, and when it's turned away, just give the signal to Satchel. If Satchel's just going to go by himself, then you can just stay on the street watching it the whole time, right?
I'll just do that. Make it overcomplicated, yeah. I'll just do that.
Okay. So with that, you are going to give the signal to Satchel when to move and when not to move. Got it. Satchel, I need you to roll a sneaking check.
Sneak.
Sneak.
Sneaking. Any modifiers?
Nope, there are not modifiers for you here. Okay, so you get a good deal up and then duck behind some canisters as Nico tells you to hold. And
is he still looking at me, Nico?
And then I check to see if he's looking.
All right, 1 second. We do have to make sure that you are properly hidden whenever you do this. So it does have perception that gets rolled.
Who, me?
No, it does.
Okay.
It's got to beat your 8, but all right, so it doesn't seem to notice. It slows down again as it's looking at you, looking at it, looking at you. But then after you don't make a move, and it kind of turns around again, and you let Satchel know to go.
Go.
Which direction are you going, Satchel? Yeah, you can see the you can see how the house is, so you can kind of go to the left or the right. On the going to your right, so to the left of the map, you do know there's a light on over there somewhere that Gertrude told you about.
I'm not gonna go into the light, so I'm gonna go to the right side of the house.
Okie doke.
Do I need to make another sneaking check?
You do. Okay. Spirit is going to see if it sees you. Oh!
I'm
All right.
going to use it. It's too late for me to use an edge to
Can't,
recall, right?
Yeah, you can't use an edge. Yeah, you can't use an edge. All right. So as you're watching the spirit kind of doing its circles, kind of, and then it slows down again to you, so you tell Satchel to stop.
Stop, Satchel.
And he stops, but then as it slowly it's looking at you, and then it kind of comes around to the side, and then as it turns, it does indeed see Satchel. And you notice it kind of like whips up about 10 feet in the air, Kaida, or Nico, and pretty sure the jig is up.
Dun, dun, dun.
And with that, what we will do is return next week to see what happens when this spirit notices Jan Satchel sneaking around the house. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. I had a good time. It's a little bit different on the interrogation, but creative and fun, I think, to play. What do we got going on? Anybody got anything special going on? Duria, you've got your GoFundMe still.
Yes, we're almost
where are you at on that.
We're almost at 2,000. We are like 100 away, and we need as in 3,100 more to make our final goal. We had our first pre-production meeting on Sunday, and that was really fun. So please, the GoFundMe is still open. That's GoFundMe/F/flirting-W-Destiny. Like $1, $2, whatever you can donate would be very, very much appreciated. And we set the dates. We're filming this June, that week where the months intertwine.
Can you put that both in the chat and then also in the chat here on the in the app, the Roll20?
Kinder Mage just put it in the chat.
Oh, look at that!
Because he's a baller. I believe Kinder Mage is I believe the pronouns are he. I'm assuming, and that's not good. But
Kinder Mage is a he. I went ahead and did this. So if you're looking in the thing, you can see. If you're watching on YouTube or whatever, and it's not, the summer of 2021, this is a GoFundMe, not a Kickstarter, so it's running until forever, actually. And so help them out because it's the arts, and that's wonderful. And it's Duria, you're the script writer, right?
Yes, I'm the script writer / showrunner because it's a web series, and we're filming the pilot. Awesome. I'm not directing it, which is going to be weird, but I've decided to just write it and release it.
That's scary. Okay.
It is scary.
So, all right. And if you're looking for little cosplay trinkets and what have you, Jen, of course, has her Etsy store, the Geek Forge. So please check that out. All kinds of neat baubles and things. And then also, if you can, catch her when she's free, she does larger projects as well. They're called Twi'leks, just so you know.
I do. I'm live streaming right now on Thursday mornings at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time from 10 to 11, where I'm working on various projects. And apparently, I don't know how to pronounce Star Wars words.
Yeah. What kind of fan are you? I mean, it's a made-up word. It's pronounced however you want to pronounce it. All right. So, and then Chris is apparently dragging Thomas and Sarah around and getting them drunk. So continue doing that. Thursday is Dungeons and Dragons at 8 o'clock Central. Friday is our community game night at 7 o'clock Central. 8 o'clock
Sounds
Central.
about right.
And well, there it is on the thing. So yeah, community game night is on Friday, and Saturday we have 10 a.m. Central is D&D episodicals, where I think Chris is gonna die. And then of course
Probably.
join us on Sundays for like clockwork. We've also got our streamathon coming up in a couple of weeks. That's 36 hours because we hate ourselves. But we'll be donating to a good cause for that. Hang out on our Discord for more information. And yeah, that's it. I'm talking and talking and talking because I don't want this night to end. No, I'm just kidding. So yeah, thanks everybody. Thank you for watching. Thank you to the cast, and as always, thank you to Tom for doing this
Never would
tech thing. And he got rid of the screen because he, and I didn't think to do that because I wasn't thinking to do that, and he did, and now the map looks much nicer for everybody. Yeah, it's great. But awesome, and we'll see everybody next week. Good night.